The bus was quiet in a way that felt heavy, not peaceful. Marcus drove Route 17 every night. Same streets, same stops, same silence. The city lights passed by the windshield like tired stars. Neon signs flickered. Rain stains dried on the glass. People got on. People got off. No one looked at the driver. No one ever did. Marcus had learned not to expect eye contact. Not a smile. Not a thank you. He wore his uniform, followed the schedule, and kept his thoughts to himself. That night, his thoughts were darker than usual. His wife, Elena, had died 8 months earlier. Cancer didn't shout. It whispered, slowly taking everything with it. By the time Marcus realized how serious it was, the house was already full of hospital smells and quiet goodbyes. After she was gone, the house became too big. Too quiet. Every chair felt like it was waiting for someone who would never sit there again. Bills piled up. Sleep disappeared. And grief settled in his chest like a weight he couldn't lift. Marcus didn't talk about it. Men like him rarely did. He just kept driving. That night, the bus reached its final stop earlier than usual. Only one passenger remained, a young man sitting near the back, hood pulled low, earbuds in. When the doors opened, the young man stood, hesitated, then walked past Marcus without a word. The doors closed again. Silence returned. Marcus turned off the engine. He stayed seated, staring straight ahead. His hands rested on the steering wheel longer than they needed to. This was the part of the night he hated most. The stillness. He finally stood to do his routine walk-through. Left behind bags. Forgotten phones. Crumpled receipts. That's when he saw it. A small piece of folded paper on a seat near the middle of the bus. Marcus sighed. Probably trash. He picked it up anyway. It wasn't trash. It was a note. Written in neat, careful handwriting, like the writer had taken their time. He unfolded it slowly. The note said, "If no one has told you today, you matter more than you know." That was it. No name. No explanation. Just one sentence. Marcus stared at the words longer than he meant to. Something in his chest tightened. He sat down on the nearest seat, the note still in his hand. The bus felt colder suddenly, like the walls had leaned in closer. You matter more than you know. He hadn't heard those words in a long time. Elena used to say something similar. On his worst days, she'd touch his arm and say, "You don't see it, Marcus, but you matter." He swallowed hard. The timing felt impossible. Because earlier that day, Marcus had made a decision. A quiet one. A final one. After his shift, he had planned to drive past his house. Past the empty driveway. Past the bedroom that still smelled like her shampoo. He had planned to keep driving. The bridge wasn't far. The note trembled slightly in his fingers. Marcus let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. His eyes burned, but he didn't wipe them. He just sat there, alone on a bus that had carried hundreds of strangers that day. And for the first time in months, he cried. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just silent tears falling onto his uniform. He read the note again. You matter more than you know. Who wrote this? He whispered to the empty seats. The bus, of course, didn't answer. Marcus folded the note carefully and slipped it into his pocket. That night, he didn't drive to the bridge. He drove home. The days that followed didn't magically become easier. Grief doesn't disappear because of one sentence. But something had shifted. Marcus taped the note inside his locker at the bus depot. Every morning before his shift, he looked at it. Some days, it was enough to get him through the route. Other days, it was barely enough to get him through the hour. Still, he kept driving. Weeks passed. One afternoon, an elderly woman boarded the bus and struggled to count her coins. People behind her sighed. Someone muttered under their breath. Marcus waited. When she apologized, her voice shaking, he smiled gently and said, "Take your time. I'm not going anywhere." She smiled back, relief softening her face. Later that same day, a child waved at him through the glass as the bus pulled away. Marcus waved back without thinking. These moments were small, but they added up. One evening, Marcus found himself doing something he hadn't done since Elena passed. He cooked dinner instead of eating cereal. He opened a window. He played the radio softly. Life didn't feel good yet. But it felt possible. Months later, on another quiet night shift, Marcus noticed a familiar figure boarding the bus. A young man, hood up, earbuds in, Something about him felt familiar. The young man sat near the middle again. As the bus rolled through the city, Marcus glanced at the mirror. The young man was watching the window, lost in thought. At the final stop, the young man stood. This time, he paused. He walked up to the front and cleared his throat. "Hey, he said softly. I don't know if you remember me." Marcus looked at him carefully. "I see a lot of faces," he said honestly. The young man nodded. "Yeah, I figured." He hesitated, then said, "A while back, I left a note on this bus." Marcus froze. The world seemed to quiet again, just like that night. "You?" Marcus asked. The young man nodded. "I was having a rough time. I didn't know who needed it. I just thought, maybe someone did." Marcus felt his throat close. "That note," he said slowly, "saved my life." The young man's eyes widened. I didn't." "You don't need to," Marcus said gently. "You'll never know what that sentence did. But I'm still here because of it." The young man swallowed hard. His eyes shined, but he smiled. "I'm glad," he said. "Really glad." The doors opened. Before stepping off, the young man turned back once more. "Thank you," he said, "for staying." The doors closed. Marcus sat there for a moment, his hands steady on the wheel. He reached into his pocket. The note was still there. Worn, folded, alive. "You matter more than you know." Marcus started the engine. And this time, when the bus pulled into the night, he wasn't just driving people home. He was carrying something else too. Hope.